honestly, I think it's not too bad. I think these two are better than Corrin and Byleth. Bro, when I saw this trailer, I was just screaming, toothpaste is real. I was fucking screaming that so much, dude. So I didn't get like a really good look at what the actual game was until I went back. Sadly, I couldn't record my reaction to it because I was doing this at work. Listen, if you clicked on this because I said I'm gonna rank, you just got clickbaited. I'm actually kind of excited. I'm actually kind of excited. Let me go into it. I think there's so much in this trailer actually that a lot of people skip over because they see toothpaste hair and go like, this is awful. But there's so much in this trailer actually. I'm actually pretty excited. When you go into it and see the details, there's so much. Let's get into it. I actually wrote down a bunch of notes on what I thought. But when we go into this was what I saw. I was dreading the leaks. I was dreading the leaks. When I first saw the leaks, I was like, God, no, not a summoning thing again. Not an all-stars game. It's gonna be so awful. But, okay, Cobra Dragon, pretty cool.
We called upon heroes from other worlds to aid us. Heroes known as emblems.
I think it's cool for one reason. I think it's cool having a all-star game like this for one reason, and that's getting all the new models. But the first big thing is that we can skip forward ahead. Look at how good that we're finally off the frickin' Valencia Three Houses studio. We're back to getting the Faye studio to do these cutscenes because they look so good. I've always been so mad that they did it for Awakening and then they just put them on Faye at that point. They did them Awakening, Fates, then they were just moved to Faye and they stopped there. Okay, so the character designs, I get it. But look how good these cutscenes look. Look at my boy Marth. Look at him. He looks so good. He looks so good. I'm so happy that they're getting the good CGI back. Okay. So this is like the most divisive thing in this trailer is the setting and the look of it. And honestly, I think it's not too bad. Here's my biggest issue with the game. Is if we go back, look how big the eyes are. I don't like how big the eyes are. Pretty much like every female character in this game has pretty gigantic eyes. Normally was for like the cutesy, small, younger characters in older Fire Emblem games, and we had a lot more, like actual normal eye looking, normal face looking females when they were older. Or like, so we'll see. Maybe they will be, but from what we've seen and from what the leaks are, a lot of them have the same super big eye look, and that's probably like the biggest thing. Toothpaste Chan, honestly, look at him, Pepsi-kun. Honestly, I don't think he's that bad. Okay, this is a bad still frame to be on, but like, okay, look at the model. The model's actually pretty good. Like, it's clean. It's clean. Look how big of a difference it is compared to what Three Houses was, where you had like a lot of like weird shading on it and the outlines. The character models are clean. And honestly, the more I look at him, when I first saw the leaks, I was so put off by Pepsi and by my toothpaste hair. It looks so weird. But looking at it in game, and also the blue hair here, it's so much less saturated than it is in the art, which I guess for some people is a positive or a negative. I think it actually looks really good here with its darker blue. I think that looks pretty good.
That's how long I've been asleep.
Also, he talks. Bless. He's talking. He has full-on lines. We're not choosing dialogue and have him just mouth it to us. Bless. We get an actual, maybe there's an actual character and we just choose a gender. Please, I'll take it. Even if they're generic, like Robin and Shez, I'm fine with it. If they get to be an actual character, I don't care if they're a little bland. Just make them a character, please. No more Byleth, please. Byleth is just so... Silent protagonists aren't good, man. Silent protagonists suck. Stop that, please.
What are those horrible...
Okay, so I think the environment here looks pretty iffy, but like the model quality is really, really high quality here. Hey, I didn't say Shez was bad. Shez is just a little generic. There's not too much going on for him. Listen, okay, so people have been really, really like whipped by like the trend in self-inserts and like wish fulfillment in anime. Listen, people have been freaking whipped by this. Remember back in freaking like 2012, 2013, when Awakening came out, we called Robin generic. Robin was generic. They were the generic self-insert audience surrogate character. That's what they were. And that shit's just been freaking degenerating as it's been going throughout the years to where people are saying Robin's a great character. Shez is a great character. They're fun, but they're the generic self-insert audience surrogate characters. And it's such a shame that like anime wish fulfillment through like isekais and harems and stuff like that had caused the self-insert character to get so degenerated so much to where we're calling that good. It pains me because like Robin is like Kirito in SAO, man. Like he's on the same level of Kirito. More funny though. He has more sarcasm, a better straight man for the characters. So better than Kirito, but he's still close to Kirito. It just sucks, man. I think it's awful the fact that we've gone to this point that people are going like Shez, Robin are like peak Avatar characters. And it's like, bro, no, we used to dunk on this shit back in the day, man. We dunked on them. And now we're praising them because they're better than what we're getting now. And I can't do this, man. I can't do this. So like with Robin and Shez, they're functional. They're much less offensive than what. Okay, so Corrin is like a weird example because Corrin, they put you as an Avatar character and make choices, but also made them really made them their own character on top of it, and they tried to mix it, and it's just it was just a mess. And then Fate's story is just a mess on top of it, which doesn't help. And then Byleth is also like there's a character there. I actually enjoyed seeing Byleth talk in Hopes. I enjoyed them with a voice and speaking lines. And it goes a long way just having them speak the lines, seriously. But like Shez and Robin, they're serviceable, but I don't consider them the best thing. So, okay, this is the big thing. So if we go back, so look here at the map, we can see a map here. There's a big thing. Look, terrain is here. You can see that this spot here, this spot's back. We have terrain back. We're getting a lot more things on the field. There are structures on the field. The map design isn't just an open field. Look at this. We have villages back. Finally. Why don't we always get a game and a new system? All the systems are gone and then we have to wait till the second game to get systems back. I hate that. Please just bring the systems to the new engine. Please. But this is huge. So I think this is really big because we're getting actual map design back. And this is so big because Three Houses is so boring with its freaking open fields and nothing else going on. It's just like, man, I want to play through it again, but I just get bored with the gameplay because it's just not engaging. Like the fields are just freaking hallways or just giant open fields. So we're getting something here. We're getting so much more, and we see that like we can interact with the terrain. That has me excited. But big thing. So we can see Alir is the name. We can see that they have like little like heroes weapon icons to show what they are. But we can see here that you can see the enemy's skills here. It looks like you have 3 skill slots. And we have the whole thing. They're naming it physical attack. I'm guessing there's gonna be physical and magical attack for depending on what weapon type you are. My big concern here is that we see a little move 4. We get Dragon Child for Alir. So he's a dragon like Corrin. Crossing fingers, don't be like Corrin, please. Please, don't be Corrin. We got move 4. Move 4, I'm a bit iffy on. Looking at this map, it's not too big. The movement is smaller. And so it's interesting to me because we're getting like a kind of like heroes mainline mishmash. I'm looking at this like a in-between, like kind of like what Let's Go was, where it's an in-between of the two systems, the mobile game and the main game, and trying to bridge them. But it looks much less egregious than what Let's Go did to the game systems. So we can see that the entire combat is still here. We can see it. Okay. We can see the entire combat is still here. It's not being dumbed down. It's just being like made a little bit more similar, but it's not being dumbed down. We're not getting like no wild battles and stuff like that. We're getting full on things. We get double attacks. We get hit rates back. We have crit rates. You can't see it because of goddamn play buttons. We get whole game systems. Weapon triangle is back. I think this looks cool. This UI is clean. I love the little cut-ins. They're like Soul Calibur cut-ins into it. You see them moving and stuff. It's so cool. I think this looks cool. And look at the animations. He runs in. The animations are much more 3DS-like. They're much more dynamic. Now, I don't think the 3DS animations are the best, but they're a step up from Three Houses. I think Three Houses were a little boring. They were like, Three Houses were better than some, like, Three Houses was okay. I put Three Houses animations okay. Certain animations really cool. But I still think that like the 3DS animations are better. You can see how dynamic it is. Finishing hits, you can see so much terrain is there. Map design actually existing. So we get a confirmation of debuffs. We have debuffs here. I'm iffy on this. I'm really iffy on this. I do not like how debuffs were done in Fates at all. Fucking only getting back 1 per turn. Awful. Awful. Don't bring that back. Please. This looks like Heroes. So please be like Heroes and just have it last through one turn. Please. Please. I hated Fates for that stupid bullshit with only getting back 1 a turn. But this is kind of interesting. We got 2 units here in green. I'm guessing these are the, I think these are like those 2 smaller looking, kind of like attendant characters, younger characters that we saw on the opening cutscene. And we got a Jagan here with Vander. I think this is pretty cool. Paladins move 6. So like movement in general has been toned down. So I am wary about that. We know that Sigurd, when you equip him, he gives you move +1. So maybe that's like Sigurd's main thing. And so Sigurd's going to be broken. Sigurd's going to be broken just for that move +1. Even in low games, like low movement games like Fae, movement is still king. Movement's insane if you get more movement. So I'm iffy on this. I'm guessing Vander's promoted. So he's like 6. I know that we see another Cavalier later on that's only at 5 movement and he gets 6 through Sigurd. So I'm guessing it's going to be 4 to 5 for pre-promotes and then 5 to 6 for promoted. So we'll see how that works in game. Maybe we do know there'll be bigger other movement abilities as we see later in the trailer.
The war.
I think this is huge. This is huge. We get elevation back, dude. We get elevation back. Look at this. You can go on top of the forts. You can go on top of the forts and snipe people. That's so cool. I'm so glad we're getting elevation back. Elevation is awesome. Radiant Dawn's amazing. The best Fire Emblem game, my favorite. Bar none. I love this. We're getting a Radiant Dawn mechanic back. This looks so cool. I really do wonder how elevation is going to play into other things. Maybe like flyers will get elevation bonuses against anyone grounded and they have to be on a fort to combat that and get on equal ground. That would be cool, though. I think flyers will be kind of broken again if that's the case. We'll see. But like, look how much detail there is on that map. Three houses was kind of like that. It had the field, but because of that, it was like always rendering. The game ran like ass. So I hope the game runs better. It's not using the Warriors engine. So I hope it's not having this always loaded in and making the game run like ass the whole time. Please. Either that or smaller maps will make it run better because it just dies on the bigger maps. We'll see.
Dragon.
Yeah, okay, so damage is pretty high. So we see 6 times 2. There's an interesting thing about this battle, like prediction down here. Scrolls for looks like physical attacks in here.
I feel like I can almost remember.
Look at that. I think that looks sick. Look at the Knights look super cool. Lois, or Louis, I don't know. I think it's Louis from French, right? It's all being French. Knights look sick. Look at him. He looks really good. Look, the armor looks sick. Honestly, we're not getting an awakening tier giant beetle armor or toilet bowl heads. Thank God they've gone away from that. I mean, we haven't had like super bad armor in a while, but I like how unique the armors are all looking. Everyone has their own outfit. We don't know if reclassing is going to be in the game. We'll see. Maybe they'll have their own palettes. Maybe not. If there's no reclassing, I'm actually kind of hype. I don't like reclassing, but I know a lot of people like it. A lot of people like the customization. We'll see. I don't know what they're going to do with that. So break is interesting. We saw it before when you equipped Marth. When we equipped Marth, I think we already got past that point. Did we? No, we didn't get that point. So this is an interesting thing. I think what they're doing in this game is that if you hit with weapon triangle advantage, you break the enemy. I think breaking the enemy is kind of like what they do in Berwick Saga, where they can't retaliate again if you break them. Maybe. It looks like that because I don't think that we see a retaliation after the break, but I don't think we get to see the full combats. Okay, so this is also a pretty egregious design. The full boob window is kind of I'm not a huge fan of it. But Pegasus Knights have always been really fan servicey in Fire Emblem, so it's not really kind of par for the course, really. But the crit animation looks sick here. Like, look how dynamic the crit animation here. That's super cool. The freaking, what is she doing 42? Did they give them god stats? What did they give them god stats? What the fuck? Also, so this thing is really weird to me. We see 42, 42, but we saw earlier in the punch girl when she was punching the enemy that they have 6 times 2 on the battle thing for the battles. So this is different. This does not mean doubling. So I don't know what this means because we see earlier here. Where is she? Where is she here? We see 6 times 2, which means double. I don't know what that means. Because this doesn't mean you're doubling. And we see later on there's different numbers. But look how dynamic this crit is. This dynamic crit is awesome. I'm so glad we're getting like cool camera angles. This reminds me, again, Radiant Dawn, where they give you a lot of like cool dynamic angles when they give you their crit animations. Like, bro, I got so hyped when you see the Myrmidon crit when Edward first did it. And I was a kid and I saw it and he fucking like spins in and jumps in and slashes through and it's just like boom. It's really cool. So I like this. I like this. Making crits really cool is awesome. Because they kind of did that in Three Houses, but they weren't, you know, it's kind of like a zoom in and then a zoom out back to the scene again. So this is a lot more dynamic. If you use a Brave and double 2 times, maybe. But this isn't a Brave effect though. Oh, I see what you mean by that. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, maybe that is what it is. So we also see here, this is when we summon, oh, this is big. So we get to see all the stats. So Charisma's gone, no battalions and stuff like that. We get build back though. I'm interested in seeing what build is. We got weapon ranks again. Movement 4, again, I'm a little worried about low movement. It looks like luck translates straight into dodge. So I don't know what's going to be with that. But you can see we got four skills. They look like they all have unique icons. It's going to be cool. So you get 3 personal slots and then probably 4 hero slots. So again, we see a vulnerary, but there's no use. So maybe it's just a permanent use vulnerary. Maybe it's only going to be like 5 HP or something like that. See Iron Sword, Liberation. I don't know. I can't French. So yeah, they added an Iron Sword into this scene. But we get build back. Don't know what build's going to do. Maybe weapon weight is back again and build is going to be into it. Or maybe build does something out. Maybe rescuing. Hey, I love rescuing. I don't think so. SP. SP is interesting. So it looks like there's probably going to be a heroes like system where you learn skills, probably, and you have to spend your SP on those. And that's probably going to be how you get the 3 skill slots on your main character is going to be through your SP. And you're going to get that from leveling up like in Heroes. We'll see. I don't know. I think that's kind of cool. I'm actually not too bad. It depends on how the skills and how intricate the skills are. I had an issue in Fate with the debuffs merging with the skills made just like figuring stuff out a pain in the ass. The more that they can put into like seeing battle forecasts and aggro lines and all that, if they can reflect that information in like all the forecast stuff when you have skills, I'm down for having skill emblem. But I do not like it when I only see like the vanilla stuff and then skills blindside me and I have to go out of my way to check everyone and doing stuff like that. I don't like that. And again, with debuffs on top of those skills in a full Fire Emblem game where you have to a lot more enemies, a lot more interactions, and having to check all that, I don't think it's that. I don't like it. It really bogs you down. Compare that to Fae, where you get like what 7 units, I think is the most you can fight when you're not doing PvE. Yu-Gi-Oh! Like interactions is how they up the complexity with so little units. I think that's fine. I actually like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Interactions in Fae. I actually started playing it again. Like really recently, and I've been enjoying myself, and I dropped the game for a long time. So I think the Yu-Gi-Oh! Interactions are fine there. I don't know if they're gonna work well in a main game. I did not like it in Fates. I think Three Houses was fine where they were there, they mattered, but they weren't too impactful. So we'll see how impactful they are in this game. I don't know what they're gonna do with that. Also, we get Marth with the rapier. Look how fucking good Marth looks. The 3D models, look how good the models are. The models are so good. I'm fine if you don't like the designs. I think I'm personally, honestly, after looking at them for a while, I kind of like the main character design. I think he looks fine. And I get not liking the kind of new Renaissance high fantasy look the game's going for. But I think that fits in with the Fae look they're going for and stuff like that. Also, yeah, type bonus. So it looks like they're going to be probably to your class. I'm guessing Marth is going to fit in with main character, Alir, and his main class. Maybe there is reclassing. And so if you reclass to another thing, like if you reclass to a Cavalier, Serger will get type bonus. I believe that's what one of the later character gets. Also, they augment your stats like pair up. But yeah, they run in. The animations are really nice. Look at that. Boom. So again, they got break here. Alfred, he's a cavalry type bonus with Sigurd's horse. And Sigurd gets +1 and he gets +1 build. I don't know what build's doing. Maybe there is rescuing or something like that. Because I don't know why else would you increase your build on a horse? There has to be something like rescuing or some type of movement based on you can do with your build. And you get +1 move. Insane. He doesn't give any speed though. So maybe not as crazy, but I think what +1 move is going to be insane. Gallop, override. So we see override later on, I believe. Okay, do we ever see a double? Okay, so I'm iffy on this. I don't like monastery. I mean, I think it's pretty cool walking around. We can see Marth here. We see a fishing spot, mini games. There's the armory. Well, I don't know what that is. A forge. We get a forge here. So if we're going to be able to upgrade the weapons like Fates, we're going to be buying weapons, items here. Somniel. So it's called the Somniel. And so I'm guessing this made me think that's going to be, dream area. Because Somniel, probably some type of dream area. You see floating rocks. It looks like a dream. It feels very My Castle instead of, monastery. And I guess it's going to play into, the game being kind of fan servicey. Maybe not super serious. It's going to be like kind of prototypical story maybe. We hear about a bit about the story. It doesn't sound too crazy. This feels really My Castle. We're going to be a little pocket dimension just to hang out in. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to build structures though. It's just going to be a set area. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not a huge fan of it. You can see all the characters looking around here. It looks like a lot like Three Hopes. Go around. They're probably all going to get updated dialogue every chapter. I think that's cool though. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. I just want it to not be so time consuming. I'm cool with hanging out, but I was fine in Three Hopes where, all the time consuming aspects was just talking to people. You got a lot of dialogue talking to them, but you didn't have to spend 20 years going around upgrading your stats, 20 years upgrading people's motivations, giving back items, stuff like that to optimize your game and your units. I think that's just too much of a hassle. So Three Hopes, I think, did it well, where it's just like, you can go in there, you can go in, get out fast. If you want to spend time there, lots of dialogue to talk to the units with. I hope that's what it turns out like, and we don't have to spend 20 years in here. But I don't have an issue with rocking around. So that's interesting here, is that we get outfits. So we can see Citrin here, Noble Jacket, thing like that. So this is like an upgrade from Fate, where you have the accessories. Now we get like whole on outfits, hopefully. So I think that's interesting. It depends. I guess this is how they're gonna be, where they sell the swimsuit DLC probably. They're gonna sell. Wait, we already got One Piece. That's probably swimsuits. Come on.
The time has come.
All right, so we get the merge mechanic here. This, yeah, they're probably gonna sell the 2-piece. I don't know how I feel like. This design looks odd, but the hair looks better because it's like merged in. I agree. I like the hair more like this, where it's like blended in across each other instead of just like the hard line left right thing. I think that's better. I agree that's better. Okay, I'm not saying that the half and half is peak character design. I just think I'm fine with it. Don't lynch me for having that opinion. I think he looks fine here. The wings are kind of odd, and he's holding Mercurius. So I'm guessing this is like an upgrade version where we're gonna get the legendary weapons. But yeah, no falchion. You're right. And 3 damage numbers again. I don't know what this means. They don't show us the full combat, so we don't get to see what these means. I just want to see what that means. Does it mean 3 instances or something else? I don't get it. But I imagine there's going to probably be some like other upgraded form where we get like the falchion, maybe the Tearfing. I don't think we're going to get the Tearfing actually because Sticker's using a lance. Or maybe we'll get Tearfing with a version. We'll see. So wait. We see a full combat here. So he can't retaliate. So we don't see a break here. Just 21 and then 21. So what's the 10 doing here? He has 100 hit. He couldn't miss. So what is that doing there? I don't know. I'm super interested in seeing what that means. So I'm actually hyped for this. So we see Sigurd with the Rider's Bane. But we get to see his override skill. This is really cool. So I actually really like this because we're getting skill animations back. And I love this in Radiant Dawn where you had your super hammy little skill animations. Impale was sick. Flare was awesome. I love them. I love them all. Seeing freaking Eclipse from the Black Knight and he just goes ham on hitting them. I love it. I'm so happy we're getting skill animations back. I think it's super cool and adds to the cinematic feel of the fights. And you can just turn off the animations if you don't want to see them. And we get momentum. So it looks like this is interesting. So, okay, what was momentum? Because that's not, so we get override into momentum. And momentum did a second follow-up damage, which I believe that was Alfred. What's his name? Alfred. So we don't see that. We don't see that skill on him. So again, I believe he bought that with SP. And momentum does a follow-up strike. The damage looks really high. I don't know how the damage is going to be in the game because we see really high damage numbers from the player units. I'm curious to see how stats are going to go in this game because there's super high damage numbers. We see freaking like 25 from that and then 22. And then we get the Celica moment. Yeah, like we saw the crit with the Slim Lance doing like 46 and then 126. This is hype. This is hype here. So I'm super hyped for this. Celica looks amazing. Celica looks so good. The 3D models look so good. I'm so hyped just to see all the characters with new 3D models. They look so good. This is also really cool. We see Micaiah here. Look at that. There's also some type of a number on them, which I don't know. We have number 2, number 3, and we get so we get to see again. So we see buffs again at 4, debuffs again. We also see that there's a tome down here, a staff. I'm guessing this is from channeling Celica, and we get a regular tome and a vulnerary. Oh, we see. Oh god, I can't see because of the freaking thingy down here. But we get to see a bunch of skills down here that I cannot tell what they look like because it looks like we're getting all new skill images. But this is cool because I said I was worried about the movement. So we see with Celica here that she gets to like warp to an enemy and just shoot them. This is super cool. It's like witch movement from Valencia. And another thing is that we get destructibles. We get destructibles, interactables on the map. Really cool. We get a ballista again, but this time it's like a fully animated. We'll probably have to stand to the side of it. It looks really cool. We get to see how many uses it has on the map. Don't have to mouse over it and see what it is. Bless. But yeah, 4 move. Again, I think it's gonna be 4 move pre-promote, 5 move promoted, and then mounted is gonna be 5 pre-promoted 6. Also, look at my boy. Who is that? That's Marth. He's at 2, and then Roy's at 2. Is that bond level? Maybe we get Celica Celine is bond 10. I'm guessing your bond is like your EXP with that hero. I think that's super interesting. We got Roy down here. I'm excited to see what he looks like. I'm so excited to see what they are. But it's super cool. I really wonder what the other heroes are gonna bring. Because we saw that Sigurd just charges through enemies, I guess to give more movement, similar to how huge the movement was in Genealogy. So I'm excited to see what Roy, Micaiah, what Marth brings as their special skill. I think it's super cool. I think it's interesting to see. Also, I love those 3D cut-ins, dude. They're so good. But look at this. Big skill animation. I'm so happy we're getting something like this. Okay, so now we get Rudolph looking ass guy. We got probably the 1,000-year-old dragon child character. Yeah, it's Ragnarok. It's Warp Ragnarok. which is super sick. So we see the evil ring here. So that means we're probably getting evil villains as the rings too. I wonder, me and Kiro were talking about it earlier, where we wonder like, are there just going to be the dragons, or are they going to bring in like all the villains? Maybe just random villains, maybe the sorceress too. Maybe Fault is a like insane Rhea going to be one. We don't know. I'm interested to see what villains we're going to get. I think that will be kind of interesting. The cutscenes look so good. Okay, bring all the rings back. So people were worried about there being gacha Astra ring too. I really want there to be Astra in the game if we're getting a cameo game like this. People were really worried about like gacha, because I think like the leaks talked about how it was going to be like a gacha game. But I think the leaks also said that wasn't going to be gacha, like as gacha. I think it was just going to be like in the vein of it, but it wasn't going to actually be gacha. People were worried that there's going to be gacha. I don't think there's going to be a gacha, because they said right here, you got to get the rings back and save the world. So I imagine as we get through the game, we're going to get more rings, meaning we get more characters back, and we're going to unlock more stuff. I don't know what we're going to do with that. And we're going to kill this Cobra ass dragon, which I actually like the look of. Looks cool. We also got a bunch of characters from the game. I didn't go over them really. We got like a Lancer girl that like swung around on our lance. We got a fire sword guy. I don't know who that is, but opening the gates together. That's funny. Bro, look how good Marth looks, dude. Bro, it looks so good. He looks so good there. I love it. I love it. I'm fine with Toothpaste Chan, dude. I'm fine with Toothpaste Chan. Honestly, I think this art looks sick. I'm so into it. The designs look cool. I think it's an interesting thing. So we get confirmed. We confirmed having these units in the game. So we got Marth, Celica, Sigurd, Leaf, Roy, Lynn, Erica, Brave Ike from Heroes, Micaiah, legendary Lucina from Heroes, female Corin, and Byleth. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 characters. 12 characters. That's enough for a full roster to endgame in Fire Emblem's games usually. Like 3 houses, endgame was 12 units, and they only gave you like 10 units for most of the game. So I honestly don't know if we're gonna get more heroes in the base game. I feel like, because like this is a whole roster. We get one for each of them, but we might get more for customization's sake, or we might not, and we might get them through DLC. Because like we're missing a tons of lords here. Don't have Selef, don't have Hector and Eliwood, don't have Ephraim, all the others. There's so many more lords to get in here. So I'm wondering if we're gonna see them or not. I don't know. We have enough for a full roster, but that will also be kind of limited on customization unless we can customize. We probably can customize the skills of the heroes too. I think people are treating Toothpaste Lord too harshly. Honestly. I think they look fine, honestly. Like when I saw them in game, when I saw their model in game here, where is it? When I saw them in game, I thought they looked fine. They look good. Like maybe I think the hair is obviously striking and odd looking, but I think it looks fine. I don't think it looks ugly, and I'm fine with looking at him. I'm fine. I think he's fine looking. I like them both, and I think it's a better design than what they've done with Corin and Byleth. I think Robin's still a good design. I think Robin is still a very strong design, but I think he's better than. I think these two are better than Corin and Byleth. Just full on. People go like how they're super flashy and stuff. They're lords. They're a 1,000-year-old dragon that killed the dragon in the beginning. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be them in the beginning. And they killed the dragon, and then they got brought back up again because they were sleeping for 1,000 years. So they're supposed to be special looking. I don't think this looks bad. Obviously, this is still kind of like fan servicey. We get skirt and exposed thighs, I guess. But I think it's better than Corin with the thigh cutouts, and better than the freaking leggings on Byleth. I think it's better. I'm liking it more. I was so dreading this game when I saw the leaks for it, and after seeing all this stuff, I think I'm fine with it. I'm excited to see. There's so much like this feels like older Fire Emblem gameplay, and I love it. I love that we're getting that. We're not getting an expansion of 3 houses with more RPG mechanics, less strategy, more heavily invested units. We'll see how big the unit count in this game is. I don't think permadeath is going to be a big thing or in this game. I know we got like a leak of the images of characters and what they're going to be, but like in like Chinese, but it's really low quality, so we can't sell. I know we get Anna. The maps actually look like there's so much more to them. Like we get destructibles, ballista back, so much more. We have a little drop icon for enemies that drop an item, looks like. So I'm interested. I'm really interested to see what's going on. I think this looks fine. I really think like if you sit back and look at like the combination of the gameplay mechanics it's bringing from Heroes and the older games, it looks like by and far away better than Three Houses gameplay wise already. I'm just interested to see how they do weapons, how bad debuffs will be. I hope that debuffs aren't awful, and that I imagine that we're gonna be, since we're fusing to get higher level weapons like that, I imagine the special weapons won't be bad. Maybe we'll be on a time limit for the fusions. So maybe it can only be like fusions for like a couple turns and make use of the weapons then. And then you have to cool down on the fusions. Why can't this guy counter? That's another interesting thing. This is a hand axe. So we're getting interesting gameplay things. So we get the break, but it gives me Berwick vibes, Berwick Saga vibes, where you hit the enemy, maybe with weapon triangle advantage, and they can't counterattack. And here we're seeing hand axe. They remove one range from hand axe. So it looks like they're trying to cut juggernauting down. Like they don't want there to be juggernauting in this game. Like Fates, they did a lot of active nerfs to juggernauting to make you actually can't just throw in a super unit and kill the entire map. That's good. Maybe Fuse Form is that busted. Maybe Fuse Form has a skill that prevents the unit from counterattacking at all. I'm excited. I think if you don't like the character designs, that's that's valid. I think it's perfectly fine to not like these character designs. I'm fine with the new Renaissance higher fantasy look of it. I play a lot of JRPGs. I'm fine with it. Fits the Heroes aesthetic more, which is like higher fantasy than like what like the gritty look that Hidari made for Valencia, the grittier look of the Tellius games and stuff like that. Tellius is my favorite region in the Fire Emblem bar none. I love Radiant Dawn so much. Dawn Brigade chapters are awesome. Fuck you guys who say they're bad. You're trash at the game. You can't accept hard chapters. Fuck you. Okay, back on the game. I think that it's fine to not like the game or like these designs. I think they're fine. Three Houses, people dicked on the designs really hard when they first came out. Noodle Hair Dimitri, and people love it. People love the game. It was super successful. I'm excited just to see I'm super excited to see the new models for characters. I think the classes look really cool. Knights look good again. Knights look really good still. I'm always scared that they're going to go back to Awakening Knights and just mess them up. I'm excited, man. I think that like as an FE elitist that doesn't like Awakening, I can't play Awakening without getting like falling asleep. I didn't like Fates. I need to give the game another chance again because I haven't. It's been a long time since I played it. Maybe I'll enjoy it again. I enjoy Heroes now after dropping the game for like 3 years, and I'm coming back in Yu-Gi-Oh gameplay. I'm having fun. Maybe I'll enjoy Maybe I'll join Fates again, but I don't like Fates. I don't like Fates for a lot of reasons. We'll see if they change when I play it again. I think Three Houses was a really fun first run, and then really as soon as you go back to it. I think Valencia is really cool, but I also don't really like the guiding gameplay. I love the gameplay of Tellius. I love the gameplay of the GBA games. I have fun. I love the gameplay of Vestaria Saga, and I like the ideas in Berwick Saga and Tearing Saga. They're really fucking slow though. I like the Kaga games. I enjoy FE4. I enjoy FE5. I like Kaga games for their ideas and like their unique things that they do, even though they're not the tightest of experiences. Honestly, after going through this, the designs don't irritate me. If the designs irritate you, that's fine. That's fine to feel like that. The designs don't irritate me. But as an FE elitist, this feels really familiar. This feels going back to what I want in a Fire Emblem game, to be honest. This feels so much closer to a Fire Emblem game. There's still the out there things like no weapon durability, the buffs, debuffs, they could potentially fuck up. The stats look insane in this game. We're hitting crazy damage. So I don't know if that's just like dev numbers for the showcase just to mess around. I think movement's a potential issue. I think the big eyes on the characters are a bit, so I hope we get some characters that like female characters with regular faces. The models look great. The animations look really cool. We're getting full on animations again for skills, lots of cinematic stuff to make the game feel more grand. I'm into it. I'm into it. I think that like if you aren't into the characters, look at the gameplay. I think the gameplay has a lot going for it to potentially make the game good. So, as an elitist, I'm excited for the game. I'm excited. You got clickbaited. You got clickbaited. I don't hate the game. I think it's actually legitimately interesting what could come from this.